You know, I've always believed that NXT was one of the shining stars of the WWE. NXT is one of those brands. It's become one of those things that the WWE has that has always kept me coming back, even if the shows aren't particularly good. Now, the NXT show that was on the previous week to the one I'm talking about now wasn't all that good. But this particular episode of NXT, goddamn, they really stepped it up. This was a great show. This was a great show. The opening contest, Bayley and Alexa Bliss. This was amazing. This was a good women's wrestling match. Good wrestling match in general. This was so good. I stand by what I have always been saying. It's not Finn Balor, it's not Samoa Joe, it's not Enzo and Cass, or it wasn't Enzo and Cass. It wasn't Neville, it wasn't Bo Dallas. To me, the top star of NXT is Bayley. There's no getting around it. She's kind of like the John Cena of NXT. She is indeed the heart and soul of NXT. And she's good at it. She's good at what she does. And Alexa Bliss, my God, she's getting better and better every time I see her perform in the ring. Lots of good spots, there was some good selling in here, some good in-ring psychology with Alexa constantly getting frustrated, throwing temper tantrums. There's story there. She's frustrated. She wants to be the best. She wants to be recognized as the best. And she's losing her temper and beating the shit out of Bayley. They're beating the hell out of each other. There you go. In-ring psychology, in-ring storytelling. How hard is that? This was good. And with a really good finish. Bayley goes over, but Alexa still looks strong. This is one of those examples where you have the babyface go over in a powerful way, yet both women end up looking good in this match. This was a brilliant way to start the show. And then you had the Hype Bros fixing to take on Blake and Murphy. And I love what they did here by having Rhino come in there. And instead of just targeting one or two people, he whooped everybody's asses. And quite frankly, I want to thank Rhino for saving me from a Hype Bros match. I don't get it. To all the fans out there who love the Hype Bros, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I mean, Zack Ryder does not need to be on a tag team. I actually like what they're doing with Zack Ryder on the main roster as opposed to what they're doing with him on NXT. Zack Ryder on NXT, I'm sorry, looks a little bit wasted. You know, he doesn't really need to be there, so why bother even having the Hype Bros anymore? You're doing something with Zack Ryder on the main roster that seems to mean something again, so why the fuck is he still on NXT with the Hype Bros? There's no need for it anymore. And having Rhino come in there and whooping everybody's ass, and then later on somebody tries to ask him why'd he do it, and he just walks away. That's great! He shouldn't have to explain himself. You know, you should. It's like, I'm glad they didn't even go with the whole because I can answer. He just looked at him and he just turned around and just walked away. That was a good thing to do. Then they did some more. I saw some more sit-down interview footage with Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. They're doing a good job building it up. They're doing a good job building this match up, and I'm really anxious to see it. Hell, by the time this video is uploaded, and by the time you watch this video, that match has probably already fucking happened. Yeah. I forgot to mention that Bayley, after she beats Alexa Bliss, she calls out, she's talking about redeeming herself, and out comes Nia Jax. And I like the fact that you have a powerful heel in Nia Jax. Bayley challenges her to a match, and Nia's like, okay. She doesn't give any bullshit excuses as to why she doesn't want to. She doesn't refuse. She doesn't think about it. She doesn't cowardly attack her and then say, okay. She doesn't even hesitate to accept. She's like, one more match? All right. Good. Good stuff. And then... I'm probably forgetting something, but I want to talk about the 2 out of 3 falls match between the Revival and American Alpha for the NXT Tag Team Championship. This match was incredible. I got to agree with the Solid Monster, though. I think their match at TakeOver, the end, was a little bit better. Their match at TakeOver Dallas, even with that big botch spot at TakeOver Dallas, their matches at the last 2 TakeOvers, I think were... I actually prefer them a little bit more than this match. The simple fact is that the 2 out of 3 falls, I'm fine with that stipulation because they don't use it very often. They haven't beaten that dead horse in the ground like they have other matches. Hell in a Cell. But there was a lot of good in-ring storytelling. There was some good selling in here for the most part. Alpha gets the first win via submission, and then not too long after that, the Revival gets the second win. And I also wanted to point out something that Solomon has already pointed out. Jason Jordan took a hell of a beating on his leg, and when he finally got out, he stopped selling. That took away from the match a little bit. You know, they spent so much time in this match just beating on him and beating on him and beating on his leg. Even when you're on the ring apron, sell it. Tell a story in that ring. At least do some painful facial expressions. Go like, ugh, my knee, you know, or wiggle your leg or something a little bit, or stand on one foot on the ring apron and shake your leg a little bit. At least try to put forth an effort into selling a little better. That was, to me, the worst part of this match, is that Jason Jordan, once he got out of the match and they were leaning up toward the end, he stopped selling his bum leg. And that really bothered me. Another thing that kept me on the edge of my seat is that I was so frightened that we were going to get a fuck finish. I was so afraid that we were going to get a run-in from the Authors of Pain and they were going to screw Alpha out of the tag team titles after they spent all this time pumping up the crowd and, you know, delivering a good match. It's like, well, it's a good way to get heat. I get that. But you don't always want to rely on fuck finishes, screwy finishes, run-ins, DQs, or countouts, or anything like that. You don't always have to go that route. And there are times I think that the WWE goes that route way too much. Sometimes a decisive win is the best way to go, and I'm glad that they did this with the Revival going over. Now you can free American Alpha up to get called to the main roster in the upcoming brand split draft, which I still think is a ridiculous fucking move. Going back to the brand split. You know, for all this talk about a new era, they sure love going back to shit they done over a goddamn decade ago. Oh, it's a new era. It's a new era. It's 2016. We're in a new era, so let's do something we did back in 2002. Fucking ridiculous. And don't even get me started on the whole Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton shit. I'm going to talk about that in a video on its own. But the main event was solid. It was great. I did enjoy it. This entire episode of NXT was just simply amazing. It wasn't perfect, but man, I had a lot of fun. It was a blast, and I loved it. So there's my review of NXT. What'd you all think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Who knows? I might agree, you might disagree. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see y'all later.